Hey guys, I wanted to talk to you about the new Jeep Gladiator. It's a pretty fresh piece from Jeep, and there's a little misconception about it because if you're into Wranglers and you're a big Wrangler fan, there's a lot to love here, but it's not quite a Wrangler. It's meant to be a truck. But I want to show you around this a little bit. So let's start up front here. All the lighting in the front is LED, from the fog lamps to the LED reflector headlamps. And these are the brightest headlight on the market right now. So I mean, you can turn them on in daylight and you'll see them reflect off a sign. I mean, they're really light, really bright. But there's a few neat things that the Gladiator has that even the Wranglers don't. So right up here, this is a trail cam. So when you get kind of in that spot, maybe you shouldn't have your Jeep Gladiator in, you can push a button on the dash. You can see this camera. Right here, you can see everything in front of you, where your tires are going to be, what you're about to come up on. And then right here, if you get it a little too dirty, it's actually got a washer fluid sprayer. It sprays in from the bottom to clean the lens off right there. Another neat thing about this one in particular is it has the steel bumpers. So, and this is actually a winch ready bumper. I'm not going to go through the process of prying this off to have to snap it back in again, but basically you can pop this part off. The winch mounts behind here, and then the plate with the rollers for your cable to come through goes right there. You've got the red tow hooks. I think the red on this color looks really good. It's a good combination together. They're pretty handy if you gotta, snatch your buddy's Chevy out of a spot that it shouldn't have been in. I want to go under the hood real quick before we go on around to the rest of it. So this has got the 3.6 liter Pentastar. It's a very cool engine. But here's something that's different on these now. So you see how this comes down from the top? Well, one of the reasons that we do that is in case you really need to get down in there, whether you're cleaning it or whatever. Now you got to be really careful because it's paint to paint back here. So it's better if you place a rag or a cloth, something right there. But you see, it's a little open. It's a little easier to do if you're going through and just checking your fluids before a trip, or if you need to clean this out, you can see it all right here. It's real easy to get to. If you do your own maintenance, you're that kind of person, you look right here. This is where your oil filter goes. It's a cartridge inside that right there, so you can pull it out right there. The only reason you got to get underneath is to drain the oil, obviously, and put the drain plug back in. Something else neat that they've done now, all the bolts on this thing are labeled as what they are. So like right here, you'll see it says T30. So it's a Torx bit, it's a 30. And I'll show you some more of those as we go on around with different things. Set this back down. So another thing that's neat about the newer models with the 3.6 liters, you get the 8-speed automatic transmission now. So the fuel mileage, even having this bigger, heavier vehicle, is better than an old 4-door Wrangler. And it's in a truck. We've changed the front brackets there. I know I didn't really go over that, but they used to have that little rubber piece, and after a little while it would get kind of brittle and you could end up breaking it if you weren't careful. So this is kind of new. It's got an actual steel clip in there. It's pretty easy. But come on around this side. This particular model, this Rubicon, you've got painted fenders and a painted top. So that's an addition. That's normally you would have black fenders, black top, things like that. Sometimes it looks okay, but I think in this particular color, that's really where it's at. But if you come down here, you'll see these are a 285 Wild Peak all-terrain. They have Fox shocks from the factory, from Jeep, if you can get in there and see them. It's a pretty neat setup. It's some really high quality stuff. And I want to go on down as well. So right here, we were talking about the labels on the bolts. So to pull your doors off, it's a T50. It's labeled like that so that it's really easy for you to do. And there's actually a toolkit that comes in the Jeep that has the tools to take your doors off, take your top off, all that stuff. You've got rock sliders down the whole thing. So like we were talking about before, if you get it in a spot that maybe you shouldn't have even taken it to, that'll at least help protect the body and things like that. If you go onto the back, I want you to see how the suspension set up. You'll see the Fox shocks again. You can see the 4-link right there, the connections in the bigger frame. So this frame isn't exactly like an old Wrangler. Like I said, this wasn't meant to be a Wrangler. This was meant to be a truck. So part of the reason you're able to tow 6,000 pounds with this particular unit is the way that frame's designed and the way that rear end's set up and how it holds. So we're gonna come on back to the bed. This is kind of the highlight. This is the biggest, newest thing as far as Jeep goes. So it's got a 3-position tailgate, which one is up, obviously closed, and then one is down. But we had a lot of people that were concerned about, well, what can I haul in it because the bed's smaller? Can I still put a sheet of plywood in it? And the answer is yes. So if you'll come inside the bed here, and this right here, this is the holder for your top. So if you want to put your Freedom panels up in the front, you can store them right here in this bag. This is the floor mat. It's got some all-weather mats with it too, but we wanted to pull them out because we're going to look inside here in a few minutes. So if you look down in the bed here, you've got your anchors here, here, over there, and over here. This one actually has the LED bed lighting group as well. But to go back to our plywood thing, so this indentation here, there's one directly on the opposite side, and then there's one right here in the top. What that's designed for is 2x4s. As silly as that sounds, you stack 2 of them side by side, long ways right here, and then one across the top here, and that'll enable you to put a 4x8 sheet of plywood once you lift the tailgate up a little. You watch, run this behind this side, and then you run the other one over behind that side. Now the way that's set up, you have your 2x4s in there, you can put your 4x8 sheet of plywood all the way through there. Now there's even accessories made like a massive toolbox that goes to about the same level and fills the bottom, and it's got big drawers that can pull out. So of course with any Jeep there's just an abundance of accessories. That's kind of what they're most known for, really. And then a quick little Easter egg we'll get right in here on the side. It's got the little heart and the 419 from Ohio, so just showing a little love to where they're made. If you come down here with me for a second on the rear bumper. So the rear bumper's steel as well, but even with all the rugged accessories to this Jeep, you've still got your sensors in the back. If you're backing it up, it'll alert you when you start getting close to something, things like that. And you'll see this one, even with the way it's angled, this Jeep actually has blind spot. And when we get to the mirror, I'll show you a little more on it. You still got your rock sliders even back here under the bed too. The fuel door, it's real easy. You just push it, unclick it right there. The filler neck goes down. It doesn't take up any extra bed space or anything. It's just kind of a neat place to put it. So I'm going to go on up here to the side. I want to show you the mirror. So blind spot monitoring, most people know what it is already. So it's right here, this little triangle right here. When something gets in that spot that's behind these pillars that maybe you can't see all that well, this is going to light up yellow to indicate that somebody's back there. I actually need to start with these handles before we go inside. So another thing that's changed in the Jeep world, and this is the JL as well as the Gladiator. This handle before, it had a little push button and you open it. Well, I guess through the Jeep forums and things, a lot of people were complaining about them because they could wear out, they could break, you catch them on something. Well, these now, they're actually made to have some flex to them, as you can see, right like that. The doors don't just swing open like they used to. You've actually got to put a little force behind them. They'll actually catch. And the interior. Now, it's as pretty of an interior as you'll ever see on any vehicle. The days of Jeep being kind of just a rugged, plain, old vehicle are gone. I mean, we're talking about heated leather and remote start. This thing is it's as nice as they come. You got all the creature comforts, all of those convenience features, but you still have, if we go back to the inside here, you still have an axle lock and a sway bar disconnect. So if you really want to really get into some spots that maybe you don't quite need to be in, you can do it right there. With the Off-Road Plus button that you just saw right above the sway bar disconnect, that's actually what will enable your trail camera up front. It'll give you, on the screen, it'll show what angles your tires are at, what angle you're laying on. It gives you the full range of everything right there. Now, We'd really like to give you a full driving demonstration, but maybe another time. Anyway, look forward to some videos in the future. We're going to take, I'd say on the next one, we're probably going to look at what it looks like with the top off, maybe even the doors off, lock it in.